Good evening and welcome to the Dow Calligraphy Healing Field. Tonight we want you to experience the power of the Dow Calligraphy Healing Field, and we're going to start with a video of the experiences that people had in the last few weeks, probably in the last couple of weeks, with one of our signature services, the Dow Light Massage. So my name is Jimena Gavino. I'm the director for the Dow Calligraphy Healing Field in Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. I welcome you to the field here in Canada. I welcome you to this evening. I invite you to share with us your name, where you're from. You probably have to log into live stream to do that, but we're going to interact with each other. We're going to try and make this as interactive as possible, even though I can't see you, but you can see me. But you can hear me, and I want you to be able to respond so we can connect and we can serve you, but only if I know what it is that you need and why you're here tonight. So please share your name and where you're from, what brought you here. And we're going to start. Enjoy this video. It's absolutely amazing.
After surviving on blood transfusions for over 9 months because of a life-threatening condition called severe aplastic anemia, being in the Dow Calligraphy light massage field, I was able to reach normal levels my doctors never expected. I was diagnosed with a very rare blood condition called severe aplastic anemia, a serious life-threatening blood condition where my bone marrow no longer creates blood. Without blood, we can't survive. So they gave me blood transfusions starting out on a daily basis just to keep me alive. The doctors and nurses were treating me, they were fantastic. And I credit them for saving my life many times and getting me through some horrific reactions I was having just to the drugs. After 9 months of therapy, they said, "We're really sorry, it hasn't worked for you." And they were going to look into other alternatives that were very high risk for me, such as bone marrow transplants. Meantime, I was using Dow Calligraphy light massages with Master Shah and being in his high frequency field as often as I could. And suddenly, for the first time, my levels started jumping at rates they had never jumped before. While continuing the Dow Calligraphy light massages, along with some powerful light transmissions from Master Shah, my platelets jumped 50 points. My platelets, which used to be in the single digit range at the time of diagnosis, normal is between 150 and 450. My platelets, which used to be in those single digits, now we're up to 72 and suddenly jumped up to 123. And my hemoglobin, it kept climbing right into normal range. And my red blood count reached normal for the very first time. And I haven't had a blood transfusion since. Thank you.
I love Dow Calligraphy light massage. I love the fact that I can lay down and I can experience incredible frequency, vibration, and light that helps to make me feel happier and healthier. So I was working in the garden and moving some trees and boulders. And the next morning, I couldn't move. My mobility went down to 0 and my pain level went up to a 10, where 10 is really bad. It was about an 8 or 9 out of 10. I went to the Dow Calligraphy light massage and the pain went away and my mobility came back 100%. I know that this was due to the Dow Calligraphy light massage, and I'm so grateful for that.
I just participate in the Master Shah, the calligraphy light massage. My itchy skin completely gone, and for me is a big miracle. I have had severe itchy skin for almost a year. My doctor gave me a cortisone cream, but it would give me only a half an hour or temporary relief. I participated in Master Shah's the calligraphy light massage every Saturday and asked for healing my skin. The itchiness has been gone for nearly a month completely. For me, is a big miracle.
Dow Calligraphy light massage is absolutely amazing. For about 2 months, I was experiencing sharp pains in my left shoulder blade area, and the pain would go down my left arm and be this like achy pain. And it was just kind of a continual ache. It was always there. And I went into the Dow Calligraphy light massage, and the energy was amazing, and I felt so relaxed, and I ended up falling sound asleep. And when I woke up, my pain was at a 0, which was absolutely amazing. But I was so grateful because since then, since that Dow Calligraphy light massage, I have not had stabbing pains in my shoulders, in my shoulder blade area, and I have not had any of the achiness down my arms. And so I'm just so grateful to the Dow Calligraphy light massage just for that pain relief. So thank you so much.
So the pain in my uterus, that was a 6 out of 10, and it used to hurt all the time without any relief, is totally gone after attending the Dow Calligraphy light massage. About 25 years ago, I was pregnant, and a cousin was here visiting, and we took her to Disney. And as we were walking there, I remember feeling a very strong pain in my uterus. But, somehow that pain came back every so often, but we were able to make it through the pregnancy, and the baby was born, and she was fine. So the pain went away, and then in the last few years, every so often the pain would come, stay for a little while, and it would be gone away. But this year, the pain really started, and it was strong, and it was hurting all the time without any relief, no matter what I did. And then Master Shah started offering the Dow Calligraphy light massage, and I was able to join. And from attending the Dow Calligraphy light massages, my pain went away, and I am so relieved.
Isn't that amazing? So I listened to every single story. I listened to I don't know, I cannot pronounce the name of the lady. I know, of course, Lynn, but not Lynn, but not Terry. But I cannot remember the name of the condition. Very serious. Your body cannot produce, blood cells. Every single story is one in which they have tried many different ways. Several of them had tried actually conventional and alternatives. So why does the Dow light massage work? How is it? Why is it that the Dow light massage is able to transform their situation, their condition, when they have tried so many different ways and have not had any success, right? So for Terry, the very first lady, they were saying to her, you know, we're going to explore bone marrow transplant and other options that for her, she said they carry high risk. So I want to show you a small presentation. And Mark, can we put up the PowerPoint? So we are in a Dow calligraphy field. So the Dow calligraphy field is a source field. Dow is the source. Dow is the ultimate creator of heaven, Mother Earth, countless planets, stars, galaxies, universes. It is the ultimate creator of everyone and everything. Dow carries a source field, and that source field carries messages of the purest love and light and the most positive frequencies and vibration, the highest frequencies and vibration. And the reason that's important is because, and I'll show you in a minute, when we have challenges, blood issues, heart issues, lung issues, kidney issues, those are caused by negative messages. A message of disease is a negative message. A message of disorder, a message of disorganization, our disconnection. These are low frequency, low vibration. And you know it. When you're sick, you're tired. You can be dragging. Low frequency, low vibration, so our cells are not vibrating at the rate that they need to be vibrating. They are not vibrating with the frequency that they need to be vibrating. The messages are not positive, they're negative messages. So the source field carries the purest messages of love and light, the highest frequency and vibration, because it comes from the source. That can transform any message, any information that we carry. It can transform our energy. It can transform our matter. And in essence, transform any aspect of our lives. Our health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, our relationships. It can transform our business, our homes, our, here we're at the center. This is just before we put up the calligraphies, this was just a store, right? A standard store, storefront. But it's a beautiful Dow calligraphy healing field because of the calligraphies. Okay, Mark, so let's go to the next one. Sorry, let's make sure.
What is Dow calligraphy?
Yeah, what is Dow calligraphy? So Dow calligraphy, give me a second because I'm not able to. So what is Dow calligraphy? So Dow calligraphy is art. Dow calligraphy is actual transformative art because it carries, its source art, it carries a source field. So let's go on to the next one, Mark. And that source field, so when this calligraphy is written, Master Sha connects to the source transmits onto the paper through the ink a source field. That source field is it's a portal, and it's vibrating, it's alive, it's vibrating, radiating, it's radiating out. That each calligraphy that's here, and there's many here, each one of them has a field. So together it creates a very powerful field. And that's why, you know, at the beginning of the video, they showed you a wall of calligraphies, right? So there were calligraphies that had gold frames and gold, I know, what do they call them, matting? And then there were some in the middle that had red. But that's a wall of calligraphies. That's a huge, powerful field, right? So together, each calligraphy is powerful. But then when you bring all of them together, it really creates a very powerful field. So please go on to the next one. Yeah, the Senshijing. So that field is going to help us to transform the information pathway that everyone and everything is made of. In Tao science, which was founded, created by Dr. Rulin Shu, a quantum physicist and string theorist, and Dr. and Master Sha, it brings together at the most fundamental level spirituality and science. And it answers the question of what is everyone and everything made of? And in Tao science, the answer is Shen, Qi, Jing. So the concept is very ancient. Shen, Qi, Jing is an ancient concept. It's part of what's called the traditional Tao teachings, on which the culture, the three different cultures in China were developed, and on which practices, disciplines like I Ching, Feng Shui, herbs, acupuncture, all of those are based on, yeah? So in this information pathway, it has three major components: Shen, Qi, and Jing. And you can see them on the slide on the left-hand side. So Shen is made up of soul, heart, and mind. So what's unique about Tao science is that Tao science has actually been able to quantify the soul. Science has been able to quantify the heart. They even have quantified consciousness. But they have not been able to quantify the soul, right? But Tao science has done that. And that's a different, it's a different presentation, but it is relevant here because it makes it a relevant concept in the scientific realm. So the soul encompasses, Shen encompasses soul, heart, and mind. Soul, when you look at in the chart, soul is message in the spiritual realm. But in the Tao science and in quantum physics, message is information. So that information is received by the heart. Heart is the receiver of the information. Think of the heart like a satellite dish, right? It's receiving the waves. If the heart accepts the message, it passes it on to the mind. So at the level of message, and even at the level of heart, because here we're not talking about the physical heart, we're talking about the spiritual heart. This is not visible to the human eye. It might be visible for some people with the spiritual eye, and it might not even be visible. If the messages are high enough, they may not even be visible through a spiritual eye. So the message is soul sent to the heart. The heart receives it. It's the receiver of the message, sends it to the mind. The mind is the processor. It begins the process of manifesting the message into physical form, into the world where we can actually see it, touch it, feel it, smell it, right? So it's considered the processor of information. Then the mind sends that message to the energy and says to the energy, raise the frequency if it's a message of healing and transformation of a higher order, or lower the frequency. If it's a message of transformation of lower order, meaning disease, disorder, disorganization. And so that's what happens. The energy drops, and then the energy sends a message to the matter, and the matter manifests that, puts it into physical form. It's the manifester, it's the transformer. You can see the message in physical form. So tumors, physical form. Chickenpox, measles. I had measles as a kid. Physical form, yeah? It manifests at the physical level. So what is important is that the source field that's here in this calligraphy has higher frequency, higher vibration, a higher level message that is purer than anything that we have here on Mother Earth. And so it can transform those messages of disease. So let's take Terry, for instance. She was carrying a message to not create, platelets. That's a very serious message. The doctors tried everything. She then was in the field, the Dow Calligraphy field, through the service called Dow Light Massage, where you lie down, you cover yourself, and the field surrounds you, the field goes into you, and begins the process of changing the messages. We don't know how many, but the Dow Light Massage with Master Sha has only been around for a couple of months. So in just a few weeks, her messages changed. And she said that her counts were back in the normal range. Why? You have to go back to the chart. Mark, can you go back to the chart? Go back to the Shen Qi Jing chart. Why? Because the message changed. The message was a different message. It was a message of normal, healthy blood platelets and counts, and that went through the entire information pathway, changing the outcome in her blood tests. It's that simple. It's really that simple. It's hard to believe, but it's that simple. Why? Why does Master Sha have this kind of power? Because he's dedicated his life. He is a world-renowned healer and humanitarian. He started the Love, Peace, Harmony movement to create a world of love, peace, and harmony. He has shared his healing wisdom in all of his books. He has over 25 books at this point. 11 or 12 of them were bestsellers. Several of them were New York Times bestsellers, #1 bestsellers. These books share with you techniques for how you can transform the message in your body, how you can connect with the calligraphies, and how you can connect with the message through the mantras, through the CDs, through so many different ways that Master Sha makes available, like the Tao-like massage, like the practice sessions that we're going to talk about in a minute, so that your messages begin to change. And gradually, or this happened for Terry, but she's doing practices, so it's a combination of things. The messages start to change and then can actually transform very, very quickly. And you can come back, the body can come back into a state of health. Terry and the other people who were speaking, in fact, I know all of them, Susan Hausen, the lady who moved the boulders and the trees, and I was like, Susan, why would you do that? But right away, Tao light massage, what happened? She could have spent 3 or 4 days with back pain, not being able to move, a lot of soreness. It would have taken several days, maybe weeks. And instead, what has happened? She was doing better almost immediately after the Tao light massage. Brianne had pain in her shoulder blade. She said pain shooting down her arm, gone. And Flavia was talking about pain in her uterus that, had been around for a while, right? So she carried that message for how many years? And then suddenly that pain wasn't going away. All of them are doing practices. and all of them joined the Tao Light Massage. So now they're going to continue to do practices. Why? Because the messages have layers to them. Another message may come up. But if you do practice, you're constantly, preemptively, not constantly, but preemptively clearing the negative messages, preventing them from manifesting. Because by the time they manifest into sickness, they say cancer, doctors say, I remember when Master Sha in San Francisco, he was asked, to speak to the doctors. Why? Why were people in his cancer healing groups? Why were they getting better? Because they were stage 4. And that means that they were told, put your affairs in order. There's nothing we can do. Stage 4 is end stage cancer. It's metastasized in the body. So when the clients started to heal, and they were not doing radiation, they were not doing chemotherapy, they wanted to know, they asked their clients, what were you doing? They said, I'm doing these practices with Master Sha. So Master Sha then, was called in. So we were doing these presentations. And the doctor said, something I didn't know, they said cancer is in the body, will be in the body for 10 or 15 years before it manifests. They cannot find it in the body. The scientific medical equipment cannot find it in the body. Why do they do research? To try and find it earlier and earlier, right? What we're doing is the source knows where the negative messages are. And so the source can go to where those negative messages are and transform them after they've manifested into cancer, but ideally way before your cells have changed, because changing the physical body takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of dedicated practice, takes 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of practice, because you have to sustain the body at this very high level of frequency. Yeah. So I want to introduce you. We have a guest. I talked to her earlier today, and she's in our practice sessions. She is actually a longtime student of Master Sha. She has some chronic conditions, but she received some very good news very recently, just 2 days ago. So when I called her today for something, she was so excited, she told me right away. And because I work with practitioners like acupuncturists and others who have clients who have some of these same conditions, I've heard from them, I've learned a lot from them. So I know that the condition she had that she's going to talk about is not so easy, particularly given that she has some other conditions that are a little bit more serious. So I want to welcome Judy Ann. Judy Ann, welcome. Say hello. And Mark, can you put both of us on? Hello, Judy Ann. Look at you.
If I may, I would like to talk a little bit about some of my past health issues. For over 10 years, I fought atrial fibrillation, and I would end up multiple times in the hospital, and they would have to do some work on me. And so they finally did what they call an ablation about 5 years ago. But once a year, I have to go see my cardiologist. And so at the beginning of this year, my blood test showed that my cholesterol was off the charts, and I was really getting close to serious adult onset diabetes. And so he wanted me to take several different medications. And I said, I want to get off these medications. And his response was, Judy, as you get older, you just might as well face the fact that you're going to have to take more and more medicine. And I'm going, I don't want to. So anyway, to make a long story shorter, I had some blood tests. Well, I started working with Master Jimena in July. And practicing the Chi channel, I would chant at least an hour before I got on with her, with the Bible. And I would chant the chi channel for an hour, and then I would get on with her. And so Monday, I went to see my regular physician, and he took some blood tests. And the next day, he called me. Usually it's his nurse. He called me and said, Judy, I have great news for you. He said, your cholesterol is normal, and what's even more important is your sugar levels are normal. He said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, keep on doing it. And I know a lot of it has to do with the practices I'm doing with Master Kumana and the constant chanting and working with the messages. And I can't tell you how excited I am, because my own father had adult onset diabetes, and he ended up with it the rest of his life. And so this is very exciting for me. And Master Kumana shared with me once, it'll just stay there. But I didn't have to take any medications to get there. That's what's so really exciting. So thank you. And I cannot be so many bow downs to Master Sha and what he is teaching us, that we don't have to listen to those negative messages from the doctors who supposedly know it all. And don't get me wrong, doctors have their place, but they also have this mindset that once you get older, you got to take all these medications to be healthy. And Master Sha is showing us the way we don't have to. So thank you.
So I'm going to come back to you in a minute. So first of all, I want to say we love Western medical doctors. You know, Master Sha he's trained as a Western medicine doctor, and he's very gifted. In fact, the government in China wanted to give him a hospital. They sent him to the Philippines when he was just after he had finished his residency. They sent him to the Philippines to receive his master's in hospital administration. They were going to put him in charge of a hospital. So Western medicine, we love Western medicine. What we're doing will complement pretty much any modality. I've talked now with probably people in maybe 6 or 7, maybe more different modalities, and when they blend the two or add this to what they're already doing for their clients can have very fast, very rapid transformation of whatever condition they have. So, Mark, can you put the Shenqi Jing slide back up in the PowerPoint? Because what Judy Ann said is actually very important. It's up? Okay. So what is happening is in the human body, there are circles that these circles are, so let me start with, there are circles in the body. These circles have, the function is to promote the flow of qi, energy, through the whole body, because in traditional Chinese medicine, they discovered 5,000 years ago that, what causes the blood to move? Energy. What Master Sha discovered is what causes the energy to move? The message, right? And that's the energy in the whole body, not just the energy in the liver, not just the energy, she said pre-diabetic, so the pancreas, not just the energy in the heart, or the spleen, or the kidneys, or the lungs, or the hip. These are major energies. This is the most significant energy circle in the body. So when that channel opens, then it means that the energy is flowing smoothly. It is flowing freely. Think of a stream of water. If there's boulders, if there are fallen trees, the water has to meander. It has to go around. It's not flowing freely. But every once in a while, you can find a stream where the water is just flowing very smoothly. Nothing is in its way. That's what we need to do. That's what the practices help you to do. So what Judy Ann was sharing with you is that in Master Sha's book, Dow Calligraphy Healing Field, we have a practice for this major circle in the body. So when you do this practice, you are affecting the movement of energy in the entire body, not just one organ, not just one system, not just one part of the body. It's healing the whole body. So for her, so in general, let me say, and she's a good example of this. I'm going to call her back. She has some other conditions she'll share with you. So usually what happens when you have chronic conditions is that you don't have one. You have 2 or 3 or 4, right? What did her doctor say to her? Well, Judy Ann, you're just going to have to accept the fact that as you get older, you're going to have to take more medicine. Because they're not used to working with the circles. They're not used to working with the body as a holistic system. They're used to working with the organ. But when you can shift your focus, and she probably didn't stop taking any medication. She probably was still doing practices, and maybe, and I'll ask her in a minute, maybe she prevented her from starting on medication. We don't advocate that you stop your medication. That's something only your doctor can do for you. We cannot be involved in that. That's between you and your doctor. But you can safely add these practices and help you to move, open the channel, move the energy, and as the energy moves, the body fluids move. So she told me something else today. She said, so her pre-diabetic condition is no longer exists, and her cholesterol, not an issue, right? Because what's the issue with cholesterol is that people can end up with a heart condition, very serious heart condition. And then she told me, I've already lost some weight. And I said to her, that's exactly what happens, because when the energy flows, the body fluids follow. If the energy is stagnant, then the body fluids are stagnant. So all kinds of conditions start to surface. So now what we've heard is that these 2 conditions, which were recent, the message has been changed, the entire information pathway has been changed, so at least in the last round of blood work, they don't exist. She has some others. So Judy Ann, you want to come back on? So Judy Ann also has another condition, a more serious condition. So I want her to share with you her lung condition. Just tell us what it is, how long you've had it, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions.
Okay, I would like to say this about my cardiologist. With the ablation that I had 5 years ago, I've never had another issue with the atrial fib. So medical doctors are good in some respects, but they also have this little mindset about medication. Anyway, I have what they call COPD, which is a chronic lung condition. And I have to use oxygen at night. And there's been times with the bad air from all the fires and everything, I've had to use oxygen 24/7. And I have all this equipment that I can use to keep me from having to enter in the hospital. But this, what COPD is let's see if I can remember, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And what happens is the bronchial tubes in the lungs start becoming congested with mucus, lots of mucus. And so it creates a lot of coughing. You don't get enough air into your lungs which also feeds the blood, the air. You need the blood, the oxygen in your blood in order for everything to flow freely. And so in, was it April? No, it was after that, one of the Divine Healing Days, I was chosen as demo. And Master Shah and Master Peter downloaded some very significant downloads to me. And Master Francisco is the one that told me I needed to practice at least 1 to 2 hours every day. And since I started that, my oxygen level in my blood has stayed. A good oxygen level in the blood is what they call 95%. And before I had the downloads, I was running 85 to 89%, which they recommend that you be on oxygen 24/7 at that level. And so after I started these practices and had the downloads, I started keeping a journal of my oxygen levels. And in the morning when I'd first get up, I would run about 89%. And as soon as I would start the Chi channel practices, my oxygen level would go up to 91, 92, and sometimes 93%. And when I went to the doctor the other day and he took my oxygen, after walking in, it was at 94%. And then after I sat there for a while, it went up to 96%. And he said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, keep it up. So, but I do have to keep track of it. And then, like I said, when we get a lot of smoke from the fires from California, I have to be very diligent on keeping track of how my oxygen levels are. But I cannot praise Master Shah enough for teaching us how to heal ourselves. It's just, I was on a road of really going downhill medically and physically, and I'm feeling great.
I know.
I am so happy.
I know. I can see it in you because your color has changed from what I remember when you first started joining us in the practice sessions. Your color is different now. It's more rosy, more like rosy pink. So what I want to say though then is one, Judy Ann is very dedicated. So she joins the practice sessions, and the practice principle is if you have a chronic condition, you need to do 2 to 3 hours. Ideally, 2 to 3 hours straight, because you need to raise the frequency of the body and sustain it in order to create transformation. It takes incredible energy to transform at the cellular level, down to the RNA, DNA level, right? So she's dedicated. She's practicing all the time. The second thing is that you have to be realistic. People many times think, okay, I received this blessing. Overnight, I should be better. She's very realistic. She understands it's going to take time. Already she's had three very significant transformations. If she can keep her oxygen levels can stay high when she's not using her oxygen, that's extraordinary. What would be even more significant would be for her. What is clear is that she has congestion in the upper part of the body. So, what is the issue? Pancreas, diabetes, pre-diabetic, issued with the cholesterol, heart issue, lung issue, heart issue, lung issues, So there's congestion here in the body. For her, the circle is so critical. Doing the practices to clear the channel is vital. So have you received a Waijiao, Judy Ann? Have you received a treasure for the Waijiao?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. So that's another practice for you to be doing, is to be practicing with the Waijiao, is the big space in front of the in front of the spinal column. The more you can practice for the channel, slowly you will clear the blockage and you will have less congestion. Your voice doesn't sound as hoarse to me as I've heard it before. So something is shifting. It may be very subtle to you, but I can hear it, because before it was quite hoarse. And also it sounded like you were just barely catching your breath, right? It sounded like your breath was very shallow. Whereas I'm listening to you today and you're speaking pretty normally. I don't hear the shortness, and I don't know what you did, but I don't hear that in this moment. So as you continue to do the practices, the channel is going to continue to clear. Then slowly the organs, the spaces around the heart, the space around the lungs, the space in the chest cavity, around the ribs, everything will clear. And then inside, the lungs will clear inside, the heart will clear inside. That's how it works. You have to clear the big spaces first. So the channel is the most important. Then clear here, this upper jiao, middle jiao for you is blocked. Then it'll start to clear inside the organs. So anything else you want to share with us? Then I want to offer.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Master Shumana is very, she constantly tells you to sit up straight, flat feet on the floor. And I'm telling you, I'm a Guanyin lineage holder, and when I first started with the Dabijo, I could sing maybe 4 lines. Now I can get completely through the whole Dabijo. But it's because I've learned to sit up straight, breathe from my first soul house, and it's amazing how much breath work I can do now compared to before. But so it's when she tells you to sit up straight, both feet flat on the floor, do it. So thank you.
Yeah. What I always say is, Master Sha says this, practice like a master. You need to learn. How does a master teacher practice? What are they doing? And I just listen really intently every single time Master Sha is teaching. He, in fact, is going to be doing 3 healing days, a weekend of healing days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I not only will be listening, writing copious notes, I go back, I re-listen, I take notes verbatim for whatever he's saying, because every once in a while he drops a nugget of this incredible wisdom that you're like, whoa, now I understand why we have to sit with our feet flat on the ground. Now I understand why he never sits all the way back. Because when I do it, then I know exactly how my body responds. Then I can pass it on to you. So it is important to be in the field. It is important to practice with a master teacher. I've had 3 chronic conditions. 2 of them are rare. They don't even, one of them they can't even do research on. There's so few people to do research on. So I've done the practices, I've learned from experience, and I'm determined to help as many people as possible. So Judy Ann, I'd like to offer you a higher level chi channel for being here. Is my thank you to you for sharing your personal journey of healing and transformation. May I offer you a higher level chi channel?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So a chi channel is this major circle in the body, and you can go to the special services page. The team will post the link, and you can receive a chi channel. If you have a chronic condition, don't even ask. You need a chi channel, because your major healing channel, the major channel for energy in the body, is blocked. Otherwise, you would not have a chronic condition. It's that simple. It's really simple. There's congestion in the body. Think of that stream. There's fallen trees. There's boulders. Who knows what else? It's all congested. I did a reading for one person, and I remember seeing that the chi in the body was like zigzagging. Chi channel, the major channel for energy and body fluids was blocked. Let me offer you this treasure, and then I'm going to explain the treasure mark. So we'll go back to the PowerPoint. So Tao order, I'm very honored I can do this for her. So amazing. So Tao order, Tao Chang, Tao Calligraphy Healing Field, transmit golden light ball, golden liquid spring for the chi channel. Oh, sorry, Mark, moved out of the screen. Sorry. For the chi channel at a higher level, as appropriate, to Judy and Sisk. Transmission begins. All her treasures, ordered for all of her treasures to join as one. So we're all going to chant. I'm going to come back and explain, but let's chant for her. The mantra for the Chi channel is Hei Hung Hong A Shi I Wong Yo. You don't have to, you just chant golden light. I'm going to chant the circle for her. Hei Hung Hong A Shi I Wong Yo. Dear the soul of the brand new soul, this beautiful, pure, golden light ball, golden liquid spring for the Chi channel. Turn on. And I'm going to chant for her. That channel is going to radiate to you and me and everybody who's watching this video. Hei Hung Hong Ar Shi I Wong Yo. 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 Yo Wong I Shi Ar Hong Hung Hei. That's the Jing channel. She needs both. Yo Wong I Shi Ar Hong Hung Hei. Yo Wong I Shi Ar Hong Hung Hei. Yo Wong I Shi Ar Hong Hung Hei. Hei Hung Hong Ar Shi I Wong Yo. 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 This calligraphy says soul light. Soul light for what? For her Chi channel. We just trace. Hei Hung Hong Ar Shi I Wong Yo. 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 How? Okay, so I invite everybody who's on the webcast Do you have any questions for Judy Ann? What do you want to know about how her healing and her transformation has occurred? And we'll ask her. I saw Sarah. Did you watch what happened with the transmission and also what happened as we were tracing? Can you share, Sarah? So Sarah
Yes.
Baker is one of the master teachers and master healers here at the center in Vancouver.
Thank you very much, Jimena, and congratulations, Judy Ann, for all the incredible work you've done to do your half exactly as we are asked to do. What I saw for this next level of Chi channel for you was that the Chi channel was already, the major blockages were already mostly unplugged. But what this the one that you received this evening did was it took the it's like plaque, it's like plaque in the arteries. There is like plaque on the perimeter of the channel, and so this transmission actually started to clear that away, so the channel widened even further. So not only have you got the flow, but you've got more room for more to flow through. So it's sort of like the transmissions are opening it up in stages. I still see there is some there,
Yes.
but this is, step 2, as it were. That first the big plugs came out, and now the secondary layers are being dissolved, and this is opening it up further so that you can have more flowing through. It's really beautiful. Congratulations.
So I just want to say one thing about what Sarah said. So she's looking at the spiritual images, right? We're not looking at all. We're not doing, what is it called? We're not medical intuitives. We're looking at the spiritual images. So yes, so what she's looking at is the clearing of what she calls plaque is the negative messages. They can appear as plaque. They generally appear kind of as different shades of gray. So that clears, right? What she saw was a clearing of those negative messages, and significant amount of those. And that happens when you receive a Dow Golden Light Ball, Golden Liquid Spring. The ball comes in, it's huge, clears that space. Then why do you practice? To keep the space clear and to keep clearing, because the messages can be there. We're creating negative messages all the time through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions. Yeah. And so, Sarah, can you check and see our people asking questions, and then we can ask if anybody has questions for Judy Ann. So, Judy Ann, how long have you had COPD? When did you get diagnosed?
I got diagnosed about 8 years ago, and with COPD, it progressively gets worse. And it's ancestral karma, because my mother had it and 2 of my 3 brothers. And the brother that just transitioned last year, when he finally transitioned, the normal in the hospital, when you go in the hospital, they give you what they call 2 liters of oxygen. And that's usually enough to sustain most people. However, with my brother, he was on 8 to 10 liters of oxygen a day, because his lungs were so compromised with the COPD. And finally, he just basically suffocated because he couldn't breathe anymore. So it was a slow deterioration on his part, which was hard on me because I loved him dearly. But that's the thing with COPD. It's something that progressively gets worse. Very few people, once they get COPD, improve. However,
Yeah.
In my case, it seems to be happening.
Yeah, years ago in 2013, I've shared this story. 2013, I went with, I was in Arizona, and another master teacher and I, we went to do an event. Master Shah had just launched the book. He had just been in Arizona. Literally, that's where he did the book launch. So we went, we did this expo, and they gave us this beautiful room. It had, we filled it. There were 75 people in this room. And so we came early. We created a circle with the books, to create a nice field with the books. And I said, I'd love to do a demo. I asked people to raise their hand. And then there were about 5 people that raised their hand. And there was a lady all the way in the back of the room, literally like in the second to last row on the aisle. And they had set up, center, there was a aisle in the center, and then two aisles with chairs, right? So she said, I have COPD. I had no idea what COPD was. And she said, normally, so this is the reason why she was sitting in the back. She said, normally, I cannot walk even 6 feet without oxygen. And I've been sitting in this room without oxygen. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then she started to come to the front. And I said, oh, that's okay. I'll bring the book to you. And she said, no. And she walked all the way to the front of the room. And then she put the book, Soul Healing Miracles book, which has 9 calligraphies. She put that book on her chest. And she held onto it. I wanted the book back. She held onto it. She did this for 10 minutes while I continued to practice. And she then went back to where she had a booth there. She went back to her booth, right? That's where her oxygen tank was. She went back to her booth, and she was telling people about this. We had so many people come to get books because of her story. I honestly, I didn't know anything about COPD then. And after that, I didn't really look it up because we don't really deal with the issues of medical issues. We focus on message. We focus on transformation of message. What happened for the lady, the message was changed. In the moment, in that field, the message was changed. Whether she continued to practice or not, I don't know. She didn't come to the practice, to the practice events that we had. So I don't know if she continued to practice on her own. And hopefully she slept with the book, and hopefully that transformed for her. So Judy Ann, let me find out. Sarah, any questions for Judy Ann?
Yes, Brianna is wondering, how does Judy feel now that she has received this Chi channel?
Well,
has she noticed anything?
Yeah, great question.
Absolutely. When I was when Master Humana was chanting the Chi channel and the Jing channel, I could actually feel the golden ball moving up through the soul houses and around in the circle. I mean, I've just been noticing this the last few days, how I can feel that inside my body, and it feels great. It feels great. So yes, I do notice a difference. So
beautiful.
I can't bow down enough. I mean, I almost come to tears over it because to know where I was 2 years ago to where I am today is just amazing. It's a miracle beyond miracles. So I can't stress enough to people, when you get these treasures, be sure and practice with them, because if you don't, they're waiting to serve you, and if you don't use them, they're just sitting there waiting to serve you. So practice.
Thank you, Judy Ann. So what she's saying is, I'm going to ask Mark to go back to the PowerPoint. So thank you, Judy Ann. We are so happy for you. I'm happy for you. I believe you can transform this because I've seen in 20 years with Master Sham, my own transformation has been extraordinary, right? 3 chronic conditions, one that practically did me in last year. So I would say everything is possible. Everything is possible in this field. So in addition to tracing the calligraphies to bring the essence of the field into us or into somebody else, we are able to transmit, Master Sha has to give you that authority, to transmit a golden light ball that is the essence of the source. So it has source messages of love, forgiveness, compassion, light. It has source frequency, source vibration, specific for that organ system part of the body. In this case, it's for the chi channel, the major energy circle in the body that is critical. If the energy flows, then body fluids follow. If the energy stagnates, body fluids stagnate and you have disease. That's what happens as we age. Our energy levels drop. Why do we need to be doing practice every morning? Because we need to boost our energy. We don't know. I grew up in the US. Nobody told me that I had energy centers. No one. Trust me, no one that I knew said to me, how's your lower dantian doing? Have you boosted your lower dantian? Have you boosted your snow mountain? How's your chi channel? No one said any of this. You know, and I saw lots of people when I was sick. I did qigong. They didn't say anything about my energy circles, and no one told me anything about chi channels or energy centers. But Master Sha, who was a grand master, Tai Chi, Qigong, Shaolin Kung Fu, I Ching, Feng Shui, he understands this. So he has, from the beginning, I met him 20 years ago, he told us about our energy centers. Now he's telling us that he was given the teachings about the circles. These are inner circles, not the outer circles that traditional Chinese medicine talks about. These are inner circles. So when Judy Ann talks about she can feel the golden light ball, what she's saying is the space is clearing. So when the channel clears, then the next thing will be the clearing in the upper part of the body, then probably the middle, and then the organs will begin to clear. So she must continue to practice. She's very dedicated. Love that about her. Love that she's chanting all the time. Her husband chants all the time now. She told me he chants and traces for he grows bonsai trees. So we'll have him on one of these days and he'll share that. Most important, this is a permanent golden light ball. You know, when you come into the field, it's a temporary state of being. But she received a permanent golden light ball of this field specifically for her chi channel at the frequency and vibration that she needs to go to the next level of her healing. Because frequency and vibration is infinite. So we cannot give her something that's so high that it's going to create more challenges because you can purify too quickly. So it's permanent. It is, and this is important. She said, practice. So that means you have access to this golden light ball, to this field 24/7. You must practice for extended periods of time so that you can sustain that high frequency and the body can transform. Why? Again, because the messages of love, light, forgiveness, compassion, high frequency, high vibration can transform. It can transform her chi channel. It can transform any organ system part of the body. It can transform a relationship. It can transform joints. It can transform finances. It can transform your house, your garden, your pets, your business, your creativity. It can transform your spiritual journey. Sarah, you had a couple more questions for her?
Yes, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Well, Arlene also had lung issues, and she wants to know, Judy, are you practicing standing or sitting? Are you tracing with your Dan? How are you practicing? And how much are you practicing?
All three of the above. When I first started standing and practicing, I couldn't do it very long. And so I'd have to sit down and rest, but then I could get up and do it some more. But I do with my jong, I do with my hands, I do all the above. But the more you practice standing up and doing it, the longer you can do it. But when you get tired, sit down, practice. When you rest, stand back up and practice some more. So yes, I do all of them. And I've been after Arlene to sit up straight. She knows I've been after her to sit up straight.
So let me explain a little bit why you do this. So Master Sha teaches that we need to trace sitting, standing. It's because the body, we have yin energy, we have yang energy. We must balance the yin-yang energy in the body. So when you're sitting, that's considered a yin practice. When you're standing, that's considered yang practice. When you trace with your lower dantian, with your energy center, your lower abdomen, that's because you're moving your whole body, a yang practice. So, and everything's relative, right? It's not absolute. So we must balance our yin yang. Many times we have too much yin, too much yang, and we're out of balance. And what Master Sha does in all of his books is he recommends you sit, you stand, you chant out loud, you chant silently, you chant with your hands. You trace with your hands, you trace with your dan. Most important, I'll tell you, you trace with your lower abdomen. You trace with your what's called the root chakra, your first soul house. This is the generator of life, the generator of energy. You must have power in the first soul house. So that's another explanation, another time that we can talk about that. But you must balance yin and yang, standing, sitting, out loud, silently, eyes closed, eyes open. It's all about balancing the yin and yang. I learned from Patricia Smith years and years ago, 20 years ago, I couldn't stand at all. She said to me, even if you can only stand for 30 seconds, get up. You get up, you stand. If 30 seconds later you have to sit down, sit down. You keep getting up. She said to me, eventually you'll be able to stand for an hour. I had been lying down with the phone was next to me. 1 whole year I did practices that way. Within weeks of standing, I was able to stand. I can do 3 hours of practice straight through now. It took a lot of effort this past year, but I was determined to get there. I'll tell you, the energy that I have now I haven't had this much energy in a long, long time. So everybody has to practice. You have to alternate. Master Sha covers a lot of this in his book, Dow Calligraphy Healing Field. Sarah, second question, and then I need to bring this to a close.
Okay, this one is from Lydia. Lydia's asking, are you able now to use oxygen or are you still using it while you're sleeping?
Yes, because I have a condition called sleep apnea, which I stop breathing during the night. So they had me with a CPAP machine, and the oxygen just keeps the airflow, positive airflow, so that I don't stop breathing. So, and that's a scary feeling to wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air because you have stopped breathing. So, like Master Humana says, I have many different conditions, but I do use the oxygen at night, and that's why I have a concentrator. And with all the smoke in the air that we've had from the fires in California, it's been a godsend, because otherwise I would probably end up in the hospital with my COPD and the poor air quality. One day, a couple weeks ago, the air quality here in the Denver area was the worst in the world.
Wow.
And so all of us with chronic conditions had to be on oxygen. So,
wow.
Mostly.
Wow. But you know what? I am so happy that we had you on, because you hit on all the important things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. Receive the treasures, do the practices, yeah? You're probably also on the Tao Light Massage. These are the 3 core components of a Tao wellness program. And to know which services, which treasures to receive, you just schedule a consultation with myself or any other master teacher. We can do a reading for you. I can tell you the sequence in which you should receive treasures. And it's pretty accurate. I'll tell you, those soul readings are amazingly accurate every time we do them. And I hear back from somebody who received a reading, just worked with somebody not too long ago, yeah? And they had a condition. They hadn't been able to stop bleeding in a long time. Yeah, right away, we did a reading, 1, 2, 3. And within a week, the whole thing was reversed. So these are 3 important things to remember. It's not going to be, we're not going to suddenly offer these treasures and then tomorrow you're going to be 100% better. It took a long time for the body to get into the state that it's in. It takes a long time for disease to manifest, yeah? So it's going to take a little bit of effort on your part and on our part, but together in the field, amazing transformation can happen. I'm just listening to Judy Ann talk about the air quality and how, she hasn't been in the hospital. That's amazing, given her condition. She has sleep apnea, she has COPD. She's home. She's home, and she is continuing with her life pretty much the way it is. She cannot go out, but her life within her home is pretty, she's doing well. You heard what happened for her brother. Yeah, very sad. So then you receive these and you must practice. So we're very happy, we're honored to offer a morning practice every day, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. I personally lead the practice sessions because I've been through this. After the third chronic condition, I learned a lot of lessons. A lot of lessons. I pass them on to you. Didn't Judy Ann sound? She has so much conviction when she was talking about standing, sitting, putting your feet flat on the ground. Why? Because it's so important for you to learn how to practice. It's important for you to learn how to sit. And a lot of these small things, Master Shah shares, as I said, when he's doing live events. I've watched him. I've known him for a long time, so I know when he changes something, there's a reason why he's changing it, yeah? So I share this with you when we're doing the practices so that you can benefit. Because what's the use? I know it has to benefit you, so I'm happy to share with you. I have a student who's helping me. She types up some of these pearls of wisdom. We haven't yet figured out what to do with them. But at any rate, I give you a lot of guidance of how to practice, how long to practice, the sequence of the practices, because you need to know what do you open the channel or do I just start chanting from my heart? What do I do? There is actually guidance, and I share that with you during the sessions. Saturday mornings, I invite you to join us for Tao Light Massage. So the practice sessions, you are actively doing practice. I'm leading you through chanting, we're tracing, we're tapping, whatever we're guided to do. Saturday mornings, the field envelops us, it comes into us, clears the blockages, washes away the negative messages, nourishes us deeply at the cellular level.